Welcome back to another episode of DB Sports with myself, Joel. I have a special guest today,
Jonathan, Punch Out Boxing or Bakersfield Boxing Academy.
Johnny. What got you into boxing, man?
I have no idea.
No,
I
you
know.
just.
I was watching boxing as a kid,
Mhm.
a lot of boxing as a kid, and then finished high school, college, and then I still watch a lot of boxing,
Yeah,
but not
yeah.
enough like committed. And then I started helping Marcus and Arvin
Oh, yeah, I remember Mark.
to clean the gym and stuff like that. Nothing crazy.
Mhm.
And it's just from there, like I started volunteering to hold, how it goes, hold the thing,
Punch you,
watch
yeah.
the kids while he wasn't there, and then I started teaming up, and then started going from there.
Who were you watching when you first? Who were the boxers you were watching?
Obviously Chavez.
Chavez, you're a big Chavez Jr.
Yeah, big Chavez Jr. The whole family would get together just to
Mhm.
watch Chavez. So I always liked that atmosphere of us getting together just to watch a fight. And then we'd watch Chavez. We watched Johnny Tapia. We watched Hector Camacho. Obviously, Mike Tyson would be, because I'm a kid from the 90s, So
Yeah.
from 90 to 2000, I would watch. And then in 2000, about that time that Chavez faded out and the Loya started getting big, we kind of like, the whole family stopped watching. We got out of it. And high school and all that, college and all that, I got out of it. So I came back in I still remember the date, like 2010. I watched I watched a fight one night after work.
Mhm.
I haven't watched boxing like in 10 years, dude. And it was I believe his name was Andrade. I think his name was Andrade,
Mhm.
and he fought in 2010, and he beat up
Okay.
Lucius Bute, and I got back in love with boxing after that. And 2010 was the time where like Pacquiao was blowing up,
Mhm.
Marquez was blowing up, Mayweather was boring, Sergio Martinez was coming.
Mhm.
Gabriel Rosado was doing his thing. So
That's when they got you the love back into it and watching all these fighters again.
yeah, you started seeing all these guys come. Like, it's good work. It was fun, watch.
So when you were watching it, you started, then you just went. Is there boxing here in town for me to get around it, see it?
You know what? No, I didn't want to do it. I had a corporate job, and then one of my buddies works for Leticia Perez at the time,
Mhm.
and she was a councilwoman or what, I don't know what she was at Arvin, and they were painting a gym for him. They were painting the
Okay.
gym as a community, and my buddy comes and he goes, "Hey, there's a guy out there. You watch a shitload of boxing, yeah,
Mhm.
Like at that point, it was already like 2013, 2014, and I would have all the shows here. I even had a little gym in my front where my buddies would work out after
Yeah.
work. So it was just a double end bag or a heavy bag and some pads. We're holding the
Mhm.
pads like that, you know. And we'd go watch when Leonard Castaneda had those shows at it wasn't Battle of the
Yeah.
Badges, but
I remember. Yeah, I remember. I remember he would do the battle of the badges,
and,
Leonard. Yeah,
and then the fire
the
hose and
guns and hoses and all that. Yes.
So we'd go to all that, and we were part of boxing. We were like,
Yeah.
I'd go to the shows in LA when the Carson Center was
Mhm.
called like StubHub.
Mhm.
So we'd go watch all those fights, everything. So I was a boxing fan, a stan actually. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
my buddy goes, "Hey, there's a man over there who needs help.
Mhm.
Can you just go help?" And it went in, and like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not gonna like. It's a whole crazy world. Boxing is a crazy ass world. And he came back a couple of days later. Hey, bro, he's asking about you.
Mhm.
I talked about you. He's asking about you. Like, fuck, I go. So I go and I parked in front of the Georgia Park. I kid you not, I was 30 minutes nervous just sitting in the car. Like, what do I? What
Should I go
yeah,
in?
what the heck am I gonna do in there?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do in there? My key in there was that at the time I was a photographer.
Mhm.
I had done photography in college, and when I was doing the shows, I thought I'm paying tickets, I'm paying money to see fights, and I'm in the back.
Mhm.
How do I get in there to do it for free and in the front?
Yes, yes, yes.
So I was able, thanks to Twitter at the time, Twitter and I believe Facebook, because Instagram wasn't that big yet, communicate with different people, and I was able to get into shoot photos
Yeah.
from the side.
You would get the little badge and everything, the pass and everything.
Yeah, and I mean, I shot like Nonito Donaire fight, Brandon Rear versus Alvarado, and like I don't know how the heck, but we'd get in there. And so, anyways, my excuse to get in with Mark Marquez was I was gonna do photos for them,
Oh, okay.
and I did the photos for them. But you can only take so many photos when they're just sitting there, and I liked it. I was sitting there for like an hour and a half. You shoot your photos, and then the environment, how you're in the gym,
Yeah.
so it's just a good environment. And I just started, and then Mark started seeing me there a lot, and even yourself and myself, anybody that walks in that wants to volunteer, open arms, dude. Like,
Mhm.
so he did. He's like, hold this, do that, and you start picking up the routine. Okay, run, shadow,
Yeah.
jump rope, shadow, calisthenics, workout. So you start like, you're like, okay, you like I was like, oh shit, but you
Mhm.
you get your way through a class, and it was nerve wracking, but that's how it happened. I didn't want to do it. I think I was forced into it.
Yeah, yeah. Were you happy now that you did it?
Oh yeah, because I mean, I found my passion.
Mhm.
I was before boxing. I was a job I hated,
Mhm.
I was about 40 pounds overweight, and boxing kind of like, and I was doing other stuff like drinking or
Yeah, yeah.
just hanging out, watching TV. So boxing kind of gave me that distraction, I would say, but it's more of a passion where like now I do what I love. I know what I love, and I love it. Like it's cool.
How was your experience over there at Mark and Arvin? Because Arvin's a little town.
It was great, man. What was sucked was we weren't able to build fighters.
Oh,
The
okay.
commitment wasn't there from the kids,
Mm.
and it was more kind of like stop on by, hit the bags, and the commitment wasn't there. Like from like Mark had done it for so long, I felt like maybe he was burnt out by
Mhm.
boxing. So I don't know but he wasn't as committed to that as some of the younger guys are. Like or newer. I mean young, I mean new guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm older than some guys, but I feel like I'm young in the sport, so I'm very
Mhm.
hungry. And then you got some other guys that have been in forever, and they're just like,
They've done it so many years. They're already on the tail end of it already.
yeah. So my experience was great. Marcus is great for the community. He's great for the gym. He's great for that. But it wasn't no more. It wasn't any more about competition.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that like once I got into it and I realized that we weren't competing,
Mm-hmm.
I started kind of like falling off. I've done it for like a year with them, and we're not building fighters. The novelty wore off of the
Mhm.
workouts. Now the kids are working out for 3 months and they'll leave, or
They disappear for a little while.
yeah, and it was just like, okay, we gotta do something. And so I enjoyed Arvin. I love the city of Arvin. I still work there, and I love the community there. And Mark is great, but obviously, like I wanted more from the
Yeah.
sport.
Well, then that's when you just started going, I want to look for an actual gym that's making fighters to see
Well,
how it is, be around it for a little bit.
Yes, because when I got here, that's how much I like boxing too. And you've been there before, I believe. You've been with Lupus.
I remember a little bit.
So I was looking for a gym to hit the bag,
Mhm.
and there was no gyms.
Yeah.
The PAL was closed doors. The PAL is the only one
Yeah,
there.
it's only for a certain age. Yeah.
Yeah, closed doors. I've heard stuff by Mercado Latino that was, but you got to know
Oh,
people.
yes.
And so there was no gyms, dude. And the only one when you look it up, it was Bakersfield Boxing, and that was not it. And it was Lupe Aquino.
Mhm.
So I was paying 120 a month to go with Lupe. Great guy, but I wasn't getting my money's worth.
Yeah.
And you notice it. Now you've been like, that's before Mark. But I'm at Lupus and I'm like paying 120 and I'm just hitting the bag and I'm like thinking, well, I can hit the bag at home. It's a beautiful gym and everything.
Mhm.
And man, that was my fault because I know the sport.
Yeah.
You got to spend 3-4 months hitting the bag before the coach even licks your way. But at that point, I'm already $200 down. So, and anyways, when I left Mark, I told Daniel Alcala, let's open our own gym because there is no gym in town
Yeah.
for competition in Bakersfield. There isn't. Like it's a pound and that's it. And Daniel wanted to work on something on his own, so we opened up a gym together. Not for the competition because he already had the competition team just kind of more thin,
Mhm.
but we wanted to give the kids in town something real,
Yeah.
something they give them in LA and they give them in Fresno, something where like, okay, I want to fight, So that's why I invested all my money into opening up a gym with him because I knew the kids wanted it.
It was the one in District, from what I believe,
The
wasn't
district,
it?
yeah,
The
the
District.
Kern County Fight Club, we did that one. It was very successful, but yeah.
And since then, you just never left it.
I never left it. Yeah, after that, like we're not on the best terms, me and Daniel, but he
Mhm.
taught me so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit. He had already done the grunt work for 10 years that I was able to like speed up my learning.
Mhm.
Like it was just speed up like the learning. Everything he taught me, he talked about, and then the traveling. We went to like Wild Card, Buddy McGirt,
Mhm.
Oxnard with Robert Garcia, and you're talking to these coaches, and you're just
Yeah.
I'm at the time I'm a sponge. I'm like
Mhm.
asking Buddy, why'd you tell your fighter to just do bend the knee?
Mhm.
Why
Getting advice,
and
yeah.
then like he's like, this is why, and then you start learning. You learn, you know what, sparring is not everything. We just talked about.
Yeah, yeah.
Sparring is practice. So you start kind of like, you're like, oh, okay, this is why they do that. You start learning the human body, how much they can
Mhm.
do in a week, and so yeah, man, I just got I got stuck there.
How was it when you were meeting the Buddy McGirts and the Freddie Roaches and the Roberts? Because not a lot of people in Vegas would get to meet those dudes, and for us in boxing, they're high level guys.
You know what? It was crazy because it went from like, oh my god, that's the guy from TV,
Mhm.
to like now they were kind of in there. And, I mean, they're on another level.
Yeah.
But now you feel like they were your coworkers,
Yeah.
because you walked in every week. Daniel was taking us either to like Oxnard, Palmdale,
Mhm.
and you're seeing them every week. It's like, okay, like, hey, we're gonna go spar Oscar Valdez,
Yeah.
And there's Manny Robles,
Mhm. All
And-
these guys, yeah.
Yeah, and it was cool because you give them the bump,
Mhm.
and they don't know that you're not really a coach, you're not
Yeah.
really, they don't know shit. You're there to spar their guy, so they acknowledge you as one of their own, but you just start like watching how their fighters warm up, how they treat their fighters before they warm up, how they wrap their hands, how they act, and then you just start, and then when they fight, you know, you start seeing, you know, everybody has their own habits in the corner. You
Yeah.
know, some guys lean on the ropes. I already got my habit, which I can't help, man. I like nervously get on the floor and just fucking watch. You know,
Yeah.
just like watch. You know, and then you got the fight. Like you just start watching stuff like that you already saw on TV on how they talking to them in the sparring. Because in a fight you don't hear them. You know.
Yeah.
But in a sparring, you could hear like Manny Robles tell Oscar Valdez what to do, you know. And
Level change, turn this way, yeah, all this type of stuff.
and what threw me off a lot, but this is one that like is crazy because was that like they weren't anything special when it came to like they were people.
Yeah,
So
so
they-
regular
they-
Joes.
Yeah, that was your uncle. The way he talked to his fighter was like your uncle talking to you. And then you go somewhere and you meet a Russian and they're talking different, you know. And then you got Buddy McGirt with that slick talk from New Jersey, talking to his
Yeah.
fighters, cracking jokes,
Mhm.
sitting in the middle, just bullshitting, and everybody's around him, you know, while someone's wrapping his fighter's hand, and you know, it's just like boxing. There is no president like saying like you have to fight or you have to be a certain thing, you have to be a gentleman, you have to be. We build our respect to like be gentlemen or whatever you have
Yeah,
to be, but dude, you can have a fucking nerd, and then you can have a drunk paisa, and you can have an Irish gangster, and you can have a Russian, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like the craziest mixture of fucking people in a gym.
We're all just bonding and hanging out and
Yeah.
conversating, yes.
There's a story that says that every gym is crazy where you can have a gangster and a copy in the same place.
Yes.
You know, everybody knows that story, but and that way, like when you walk into like a Buddy McGirt gym, you know, you have the kid that was Olympian from Mongolia, King Tug. You'd have a kid from Chicago, the little dude, Greer. You have Miguel come in. You have Adam Lopez, and everyone had their. You're talking Chicago. You're talking Mongolia. You're talking Reseda, a guy that has no boxing experience, coaching like a whole different. You have ex-world champion Buddy, and then you're watching like dudes come in, and it's just like fucking who's that guy? Oh, that guy's an Olympian from that shit. And you just like dude, and then the quick one was that got me was this one time we were at the gym and Benavides walks in.
Oh,
And-
okay.
And nobody knew Benavides, and the manager tells me, one of the managers, Marco from Sweet Science, he tells me, hey, hang out, watch this kid fight, he's a shit.
Mhm.
So you see this pudgy Mexican get out, and he does it, and he fights this big old fucking buff Russian. I'm like, no fucking way. Fast hands, bro. Beep, 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 beep. Toyed with the guy. And we're like, fuck. So that was my time when I really, like, and then, you know, I'm old in the game and young in the game. I'm an old man. That bodies don't mean shit, you know?
Yeah.
That bodies don't mean
Physically, what you see, yeah.
and then I hear his dad talk, just the way he talks right now about Canelo.
Yeah.
He was he's just not like a normal. It was a paisa controlling his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, vamos a ir mañana para acá. Ya no tengo la pelea de aquella, and it was just like, the fuck. That's not a guy in a suit managing money.
Yeah, that's what you think
That's
it
what
is.
you
Yeah,
think.
it's what we
It's
see in movies and all this type of stuff.
Yeah, it's a short dude wearing a tracksuit with his son, talking to millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands about a fight potentially, what they got offered.
Yeah.
Because you know they're talking about who they got offered in the
Mhm.
ring. They always talk about who's
Yeah.
what's on the table, and you're just like, fuck. You know, it's just
Mhm.
like it's mind blowing just watching these guys. They're normal people.
Boxing, yeah, it's one thing I always say about boxing is that it brings that. 'Cause I always remember being at a gym where there was an old white guy who has like money from Bakersfield.
Mhm.
And you could tell he was from like one of those old school white people. And there was a dude about mid-30s, black dude, a young Mexican dude, and a Filipina, all just talking about the aspect of high school football. And I was looking back going, and that's actually crazy. There's a white dude, a black dude, a Filipino, and a young Mexican right there, and they're all just talking about this one subject of football. And it's like you only see that really in boxing.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you see it, dude.
How especially how crazy this world is now, and you're just seeing all of them are just they're all just talking about that one little thing. And boxing brings that. Boxing does.
Yeah, it combines culture, and that's why it's such a beautiful sport. Because the poor man, rich man, it's a culture. You know that's like they all want to fight. You know.
Yeah, 'cause I hear that a lot about those gyms in LA. You'll have your Mexican fighters coming in. And there's the Russians, the Ukraine, some of these all different races coming in, and they're just all bonding right there, kicking it, sparring right there, helping each other.
And that's another thing that was crazy is like these guys, they're gonna fight each other later in life, possibly, you
Mhm.
know. But they all got along, dude. You know, and you got a kid from Chicago, like for I mean, we know Chicago where it's at. You can't sugarcoat it. Chicago's Chicago. For like for black guys, they got a black guy from Chicago, two of them, right there. You know, ready to. They were gangsters pretty much, but they were fucking bonding with a fucking kid from Mongolia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're fun in the Olympics, and the kid was just, he was just laughing, and it was like, fuck, dude, like they're just getting along, and and their coaches too, and it's beautiful, man.
When you're around all those high level dudes, what was one of the most important things you learned right there from them? Like that you saw them do.
They didn't take sparring serious, like
Mhm.
like when you've been there before,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Who won?
Mm-hmm.
Who won?
Yeah.
Someone that doesn't know boxing always asks who won the sparring, and with those guys, it wasn't about who won. It was about what can I learn, you know. So every coach, if you're a real coach, you came in with a game plan about what you wanted your fighter because you have a fight coming up. So that's what I learned, that they were focused on that game plan.
Yeah.
It wasn't about winning sparring. It wasn't about the man in front of you. It was about you. Like at the moment, your team, what you guys are going through. So if I see like this guy named Pullman, who was running a lot of fighters at the time, he was just focusing on what they needed to work on, you know. And you see Pullman's system come in. Then you see like Buddy's system come in, and he's working on one thing. I've seen Buddy pull the fighter in the middle of a sparring session and just chew him out and said, "Motherfucker, if you're not gonna do what I'm telling you to do, I'm gonna pull you out." And the guy's telling him, "Bro, I want to win. Win the fuck what? Like, what the fuck are you trying to win?
Yeah.
This is sparring. I want you to throw straight shots." He goes, "I am. How the fuck are you throwing straight shots when you're inside? And the uppercut's available inside. You're not throwing it. I want you outside throwing straight." And that's Buddy's style. You know, straight shots down the middle, best jab in the game. I think that I know of. I don't know everything. So it was eye opening just to like, you know, like I said, Daniel, just speed up the process of learning, because you learn that shit in the first third day.
Yeah.
You learn that sparring doesn't mean shit. Sparring is a workout. Sparring is, you know, build your lungs, because running is different than sparring. But it was just sparring, bro. It was sparring. It was just you know, you're hitting each other. Yeah, you kind of want to get the better of the other guy, obviously, but you're not trying to hurt people. It was all just like everybody had their own shit going to get better.
Yeah, if you're a boxer and when you're fighting a pressure fighter, you bring in this pressure fighter. Let's work on keep that distance. Keep that distance. The purpose of sparring.
And then one thing I learned that was crazy was that the upper level was different. The upper level, you know, we all think we could fight. Even myself, sometimes I say, "Oh, I get in the ring, I could give, you know, I could give fucking De La Hoya rounds, right? Give someone rounds." Can't, you know?
Yeah.
And you see this guy that just got knocked out. I won't say his name. He got knocked out by the Charlos Cold. He walks into the gym. The motherfucker's huge. He's not 154. He's like 180.
Yeah.
And he gets in with another guy that's 180. And another guy's supposed to be like an Olympian or something. Schools him, bro. Schools him. I mean, there was like a whole. And I'm like, dude, this guy sucks. I just saw him get knocked out by the Charlos like by 4 months ago. And they're throwing another guy, and they're going like one guy for this one guy, and he's just playing with them, you know. You know, we're having our meal after the sparring. You're like, did you guys see that guy?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, you think he sucks because you see him fight the Charlos.
Yeah.
So then you realize, and then you start like, so how good are the Charlos? You know, like if they made nothing out of that guy, and that guy was making nothing out of these up and coming Olympians that were going pro, 5-0, 6-0, and he was just playing with them like there was nothing, like they were the beginners. And how good were the Charlos? How powerful were the Charlos? You know. And then you get to another, you're like, oh shit, how good is Canelo? You know?
Yeah.
So that's when you started like levels, man.
I always remember because I had 10 amateur fights. You know, I sparred a good amount of time, and I got into it with a guy from Tulare. So I think it was Tulare, somewhere out there that way. I know he fought Sugar Shane Mosley's son. I think they call him in Spanish like the cockroach or something like that. And he had like 20 something pro fights. And I'm going, okay, let's see. Oh, that motherfucker. And he wasn't even going hard on me. And I went, okay, there's levels to this. There's clearly some levels. Because I would see him spar. Again, he would just work. He was working with dudes. And I was like, okay, there's nothing special. He was taller and bigger than me. But I was like, but he would just see everything coming.
You talking about Chapulín?
Yes.
Chapulín, yeah.
And when you see him spar, it didn't seem like he was going hard. Like that, and I was like, okay, there's nothing special about this dude until you get in the ring, and then you go, fuck.
Yeah.
They can see everything coming. They're smart. Like that, I go, no, he's just messing with me.
Yeah, that's what they are, man. I remember Chapulín. Strong fighter.
Since when you went to all these gyms, was there ever a fighter you met and you went, damn, wow, I'm actually in the room with this dude?
You know what? In the beginning, it was like Valdez, you know? But, and it's not even a knock, but Daniel and Miguel were like complete like jackasses when it came to me meeting people. So they got me out of that real fast.
Yeah.
They just said, like, you can't be around here if you're going to act like a groupie.
Yeah.
You know, you were going to see a lot of this. So after like that Valdez fight and nothing else, and that was in 2017, like in March. And after that, then that was probably like my second sparring that I went to with like that kind of stuff. So by that time, he was my, you know, one of my favorite fighters up and coming at the time. Nobody ever got me. Like I met like tons of fighters. Like I shot because I do photography. Like Andy Ruiz, Brandon Lee, and nothing, bro. Nothing. It was just like because you know they would say act like a professional.
Yeah.
And so I've been blessed to be in like I worked rooms like in Top Rank in the backstage area for the hand wraps and all that. So I've been around like tons of like world champions and like like you famous guys. You see
You,
Stitch.
you see them, yeah.
Yeah, you see Stitch. You see these guys, and you're just like, okay, they're just like us, you know. One time we were at Fresno, and they put all the fighters and all the coaches and everybody in one hotel. It's a big ass hotel, but everybody's there. The referees, everybody. So after the weigh-ins, before the Friday night before the fight on Saturday, I mean, what are we gonna do? You're in Fresno, so they all go down to hang out.
Yeah.
They got lobbies. I never hung out in lobbies. Daniel likes hanging out in lobbies, so we go hang out in the lobby, and there it is. There's fucking McGirt, there's Stitch, and they're cracking jokes. Robert Garcia and his dad over there.
Not that far from right there,
They're all cracking jokes. And then so and so walks down the elevator, and they're saying what's up to them, and they're about to fight them. They just fought them, and then it's like, it was cool because you're just like, you hear stories. You just hear stories, and you soak it all in, man, because they lived it. I didn't live it. Maybe I'm going through it right now.
Yeah.
You know, every day is a learning experience as a coach or as a boxing person. But at the moment, you just try to suck up whatever, like, Stitch. Stitch has tons of tales.
Yeah.
You know, Buddy has, I'm sure I haven't heard all of them, but the ones
the stories and all the things I can imagine, yes.
Yeah, so that's all it is that you start treating them like coworkers because that's what you are, you know?
Yeah.
Being that they're the fucking top of the world and they're going to do this for a living, you know? Tomorrow they're going to go and go to Florida, but that day off, they're your coworkers.
Yeah.
You know, so that's always cool.
How does it feel being an amateur coach doing that whole doing amateurs?
It's different. It's badass, dude.
Yeah.
It's the most, I think it's badass because I think I like about amateur coaches is that you're molding a kid, right? You're molding a kid, but you're and this is from a selfish point. This is just, I'm being honest, from a selfish point. You're fighting that coach. Yeah. Like in my head, that coach put a shitload of time in that kid, and if he didn't, his kid's gonna lose, you know. And you got your kid, because sparring doesn't mean shit to me. When my kids spar, it's just sparring. Yeah. But in a fight, it's like, you know, you clap for the kid, but you want your kid to win. You clap for that kid when they announce him. You say what's up to the coach. Yeah, but it's game on. You know, it's your rooster against his rooster, and you're hoping that the shit that you did was whatever you chose in calisthenics, whatever you chose in bag work, whatever you chose in sparring, you hope you win that fight. And it's such a gruel. I mean, you know it is. You wake up at 5 a.m. to weigh in at 7. You fucking leave the gym at 8:30, 9 a.m. You go have breakfast. You go home. You rest for about an hour, and then you hit the fucking gym. But that's for a tournament. You go for a show. You go nowhere. You just go eat, and you sit in the car and wait for like 3 hours for your fight. You know. Yeah. And you're not watching anyone else's fight. You like boxing, but you're not watching anyone else's fight. You don't care less who's fighting, unless you know the kid. You know, like you say, I'm at a gym and Vince's kid's there. I love the little dude. You know, Jaden. I'm gonna watch his fight. You know, I'm gonna cheer him on if you know the kid. But it's just. It's dope, bro, because it's hard to be an amateur fighter. Yeah. It's easy and it's hard. It's easy when you got the wrong coach because the wrong coach will put you in an amateur fight like that, and you know you might not survive. But it's when you've done it right and you've done it for 6 months to a year of training, and the kid's in that ring and you're watching the parents. It's crazy, dude. One time we fought a kid in Arizona and we were gonna lose that fight. I thought we were. The kid was crazy, amazing, you know? And then my kid tells me, I don't want to be here right now. I feel like shit. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, it's a tournament. We're in Arizona. We drove. We won last night's fight. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. So the kid doesn't want to be there, and you're like, fuck. You look over the ropes over there, and the parents are praying. The kid doesn't want to be there, and then you look across the corner, and you got an old head coach, like the pro coach, just fucking ready. The other kid's like, I'm getting ready, and you're like, dude, I'm gonna get fucked up. You know? Yeah. You're gonna get fucked up. And you get in the ring, and all of a sudden, the training takes over. And dude, you beat that kid up, and everybody's cheering, and it's like, that's what's beautiful about amateur boxing. That if you put in the work, it's like a regular boxing, but you get, you put in the work. That fucking, that waking up in the morning, that keep making weight. It's dope, bro.
I always remember taking a kid to Hansford. Barely's third amateur fight, and they matched us, and they go, "You're gonna be the main event," and him being so nervous because we're going against a Hansford guy, and I'm already processing, going, "All right, it's a Hansford, it's his own place. He had a big crowd." Yeah. I'm already going, "Damn, man, they're gonna screw us over." So I'm already going, "All right, man, look," I'm like breaking that stuff down to him, going, "Hey, look, we give it your all, because if you give it your all, where at the end of the day you go, you know what, I gave them all, I gave my best. It is what it is." To get that feeling when he gave it his all, and they go, "You win, you won." He gets his little medal, or if it's a belt at the time, and just seeing the joy. I've always used to love that right there.
It is, dude. That's the thing.
Seeing him right there, put all that work, and he thinks he's gonna lose, but he won that motherfucker in the opposite place. Yeah, it was always beautiful for me.
And that's brave of you, because I'd probably say no to that fight. I get scared, man. I get scared because hometown kid, you know.
I said, I mean, it's a learning experience. You gotta get. That's what the amateurs are. A lot of it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many dudes who have so many losses, but they were made good pros.
Yeah, it's experience. That's what I tell my boys, dude. Experience.
Mhm.
Don't say no to a fight. Sometimes they don't want to fight, and I'm like, bro, I don't care who we fight, dog. It's experience.
Mhm.
It's experience. In tournaments, when you're open, we got 12 fights. You fight a kid with 50 fights. And, you know, I look at the video and I say, okay, he's not gonna hurt my boy. Let's go for it. You know,
Yeah.
And you see a kid that's gonna hurt your boy because he's got 100 fights, but he's different.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not gonna take the fight today because my boy only has 10 fights.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
He's
yeah.
not
That
there
don't make
yet.
sense.
So you got to keep the fighter safe, but for the most part, you know, you're gonna go with your fighter because you got to trust that you did good too. You know,
Yeah.
You got to trust your kid. You got to trust the system that you run. That you know your kid's not gonna get hurt. That's what I tell my fighters and my parents is like, don't get the kid hurt.
Yeah.
You might get you know, worked on. You might something might, but just don't get the kid hurt. That's the goal. Don't get no one hurt. It's boxing. You know, obviously you can get hurt. You know, punched. You get hurt playing basketball, football,
Yeah.
but just don't get him hurt. Like that's it. You know. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, the kid could defend himself and hang with, you know, 8, 12 rounds of some good sparring with some good guys around town or anywhere, then you know you're not going to get hurt.
Well, that's what I told the kid. I go, because when you looked at the guy who was fighting physically, he looked amazing. My kid, I always said that looked like a mini version of Benavidez.
Uh-huh.
You know, a little bit more on the flabbier side. He wasn't very athletic, but he had the heart. And I told him, well, you've been sparring Derek and, you know, if you know Marco,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're giving them, of course, you know, they're grown men, but you're surviving their punches. You're surviving 3, 4 rounds. Those dudes, at the time, we would go occasionally over there with Aaron, with Daniel. I go, and Aaron being now was a national champion.
Golden Glove champ, yeah.
I go, if you're able to survive with these 3 dudes, who the fuck is this guy? Just because he looks at, and then once he went there, and he goes, hey, you don't even hear our coach. There it is. We got this. Let's go.
Yeah.
Push through it.
And that's the important thing about sparring.
Mhm.
See, we go back to sparring is so important because
Mhm.
it's who you put your kid in with.
Mhm.
If your kid can't hang with Derek, Marco, or Aaron, you shouldn't be in the ring at that time, you know, at a
Mhm.
fight because, you know, he's not. But if he's surviving with all those guys, you know 100% he's not going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw.
As long
you're
as he
like,
believes in himself.
win, lose, or draw, you know your guy is safe.
Mhm.
And that's the most important thing about a coach is keeping your kid safe.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, okay, my kid can't get hurt. He fought with Derek. I know Derek didn't go all out, but Derek his hard.
Mhm.
Marco his hard as fuck. Aaron ain't gonna go easy on nobody.
Yeah.
You know, he'll carry you through sparring, but he ain't gonna go easy on you.
Mhm.
So you know for a fact your kid's gonna get safe, and that's what that's literally my goal is to keep the kid safe so he survives. Because you know, some kids can't like you've been exhibitions. You know, they
Yeah.
get hurt in the first round,
Yeah.
so they're not even ready for USA boxing,
Mhm.
let alone sparring, let alone exhibition. And that's when I get upset at coaches. Is like, what's the hurry?
Yeah, they'll just throw him in there, and
Yeah.
I don't. Why?
What's
They
the
did
hurry?
their second day in, and they're already sparring 2 days in a row. I'm like, why? What's the
Yeah.
point? Like,
Well, what's the hurry? You know, there's certain times you do throw a kid in the first second day just because he won't shut up.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you tell your boy don't hurt him. Or you
Mhm.
tell him like, hey, all right, this fool wants to spar you. Not you, but he wants to spar. Let's show him what's about.
Yes.
And then they get out and they're like, oh man, I got so tired. Oh man, I couldn't throw nothing. Oh man, I blacked out. And like he didn't even go all out on you. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Nah, dude. But there's always that one kid that walks in the gym that wants to fight the first day, and you're not gonna
Mhm.
get through to him unless he gets that ass kicked
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
time. And it's like not even going hard, and the kid's like, and then sometimes they quit after that day.
Yeah, they
And
do.
it just saved you 8 months of training, bro.
Yes, it did. A lot of headaches.
Yeah.
Yes. Is there any fighter that you would like to meet, past or present?
Martinez. I like Sergio Martinez a lot. I would love to meet him. He gave me some of the best memories in my life when it comes to
Mhm.
boxing. Chavez, you know, not so much. He was fun. Now I kind of see like his career is kind of fabricated, like similar to WWE.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because it was his fighters were lined up, you know, like that. So he was cool. He's a legend. But De La Hoya, same thing. I like him, but
The weirdness that he does now, it makes
yeah,
you go.
yeah, you know, and putting his wiener in front of little kids like that. I know it's his platform, but he's getting followed by a lot of kids. You got to know
Yeah.
your responsibility as you know, he always know, but nothing to anybody. He doesn't know shit.
Why
to
do you think
anybody.
he does that? You think it's just because he knows people are always gonna throw that he did when he used to wear the girls' clothing? Now he's thinking I can throw his back. I don't care.
Yeah, I live it up, you know.
Or he's just weird now.
He just wants to stay relevant. He's not weird. I mean, I'm sure all of us do some weird shit. Like he says it himself, too. You know, we do some weird shit. It's just not out in the light, and there's a reason why it shouldn't be out in the light. You know,
Yeah.
and especially like I mean, again, he doesn't know anything. Nobody owes anybody anything, but he is the head of a corporation, and there's a lot of kids looking up to him. And if my kid's following him because he looks up to Oscar as a hero, and this
Mhm.
fucking floppy wieners flying in the air, like it's my fault as a parent for letting him watch that. But I wish my kid's hero would have a little bit more like, okay, you know what? I'm ahead. People look up to me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know them shit, but maybe I should keep my shit and my butt cheeks. You know,
Yeah, because it's weird to me when he does that. I think I seen it. He posted that one where he's with this girl dancing the thong or whatever it was, and someone made fun of him and he goes, "Hey, that's my girl's thong."
Yeah.
Yeah, I took it from my girl. Why are you saying that? Why are you
Why?
doing this?
You
Why?
know, and it's like that. Like sometimes I tell the boys, stay away from Twitter because it's crazy. You know, you go on Twitter, you're gonna see some crazy shit. But when you go on Oscar De La Hoya's page, you don't expect that. You expect to see fights for, you know,
His fighters,
providers,
something of him and his wife, I
know,
guess.
and that's what we follow. You know, like I'm not gonna sit here and follow. Like I don't like Instagram to follow chicks or anything like that. You go through my page to see who I follow. So I don't want to see that. You know, so when I'm scrolling and I see like butt cheeks and wieners flopping in the air, I'm like, fuck, dude. And then you start thinking, my kids follow that.
Yeah.
You know, because we're thinking we're gonna watch Golden Boy highlights
Mhm.
from the previous fight or upcoming fights.
Mhm.
And then he does great for the sport. He does great for the kids. He does so much great. You know, so it's like you can't knock him. He's living his life. He says, I'm living my best life. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to. But he's right. He doesn't owe anybody shit. Like Eminem said, you know, I'm a role model. It's your fault if I'm your role model.
Yeah, if you want to do the things I do.
Yeah, but what am I gonna tell my kids? Okay, stop following that guy,
Mhm.
because there's a possibility you might see a floppy wiener in the air. You know, like
On those, what is it, Clapback Thursdays?
those are great though. I fucking love that. I go on Thursday
With
I'm
his
like,
fake abs.
fake abs, and I hit him up like, "Hey, fool, you didn't put nothing on Thursday," like, you know. And that's what I like, because we need that in the sport. You need that, you know, someone talking shit. You
So
know,
a character, a little bit of a character.
we can sit here and talk shit all day. No one's gonna hear us. You know, 5-10 people might hear us. Like, oh shit, you know, 100 people might hear us. But that fool has a platform to 1,000 people. So when he talks shit about Canelo and Berlanga, a lot of people hear it,
Yeah.
and it's gonna go back to Canelo. You know, he talks shit about Dana White. He was counting on Dana White. Dana White's gonna hear it.
Yeah.
And I like that, because you know, you add a little bit of you know, spice to the sport. You add a little bit. I like Clapback Thursday. You know,
I would like him to promote his fighters a little more.
yeah.
Because I've seen some people break down like all the promoters, and a lot of them say he's not one of the better ones of promoting his guys when the week's coming up.
Yeah. He seems like that, man.
Because he does it very well with Cepeda, or Jose was it Zamiro's Zero. Zudro, he doesn't do that very well with him. Because he has talented fighters in his promotion, but I think sometimes he still likes that credit that being out there.
It's how you see it with these guys, like even because like Bob from Top Rank, he has people to do that for him, you know.
Yeah.
And Golden Boy probably should have people do that for him. So he has a life. Both Mayweather have a life, so they don't really promote their fighters that much, you know.
Yeah, but De La Hoya knows the game. He was reached one of that. I've always said I think De La Hoya is probably top 5 stars.
Yeah.
He didn't have the greatest resume because he lost against a lot of them. But overall, bringing money to a sport, pay-per-view numbers, he's top 5.
Yeah.
He's up there, but he knows the game. He should be his platform to promote some of these dudes.
And that's why I think he does what he does, because he's trying to promote, but he's trying to make it about himself. You know,
Yeah.
like if I get here in a thong and I say I don't give a fuck, and here's my abs and here's my girl's ass, you might tune in because you hate him. You know, you see him as a Vince McMahon character type of shit, you know, instead of pushing his fighter. And I don't blame him either, because he's trying to make the company grow by being relevant, you know.
Yeah.
The fighters nowadays don't know how to promote themselves. They're afraid, you know.
That's a big problem I have with these dudes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them won't do podcasts or show a personality or something. That's why I like Rolly. He shows a personality a little bit. He might not be the greatest fighter in the world.
Yeah.
Damn, there's a personality behind him.
Boxing is that. It's like there's no personalities, and I take a lot of boxing like wrestling. You know, you have the best wrestlers in the world. Like let's say, for example, Steve Austin was the best wrestler in the world. The personality wasn't there yet, so he got cut from a thing.
Yeah, from the WCW and all that. Yeah.
Then they let his personality shine. All of a sudden, he's the greatest. He not only is a good wrestler, but he's a good personality. You got someone like The Rock who wasn't that good of a wrestler, but the personality shown. He's bad. Then you got someone like that's a great wrestler, but no personality. He won't shine. So you got boxers that are really good, but they're afraid to the personality to shine. Yeah. The only thing you can do as a boxer is let your personality shine like Rolly, or you could be like Tank and knock everybody out, because knockouts sell themselves.
But if you see some of his, but Tank, I'll give him credit. He has that little weird goofy thing he does, like how he slides in that ring. He does where
the backflip,
where he puts on that little the ski mask and stuff. I'm a killer. He says, but he says it but that's his personality.
Bro.
Canelo, the shit talk he says, payday. That's his personality.
And Canelo talks English, and now he's a whole different, you know. So it's just like I see a lot of boxing kids, and I tried to help some of them because I'm a big marketing guy, and they're afraid. They're afraid to take that plunge to like, you know, really market themselves. You know, I just as like, you know, as more of a different person than just a boxer, because we have a lot of boxers that I want to thank mom and dad and my city. and then they all look the same. They all got little mustaches. They all,
Mhm.
you know, and they're all, you know. But it's like you need that kid like Rolly talking shit.
Yeah.
You need Tank. But motherfucking don't mean shit. Like I know Ryan, the stuff he said is crazy, and I don't agree with none of that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But he sells because he knows
Mhm.
how to sell, and he went overboard with it.
Mhm.
You know, so he did, and it's kind of backfired maybe, but he's still gonna. Next time he fights, he's gonna sell. He's gonna make more money and sell more tickets than a lot of fighters combined because of that. Now you get someone like and the best boxer in the world right now, but he knows how to market himself. He tries, but he hasn't like he can't break that threshold to be an all-American.
Yeah.
Like Tank sells more than him, Ryan
Yeah.
sells more than him, and he could beat them both in the same night.
Oh yeah.
He can, you know, and he does that. But they just lost a shitload of money in LA.
Yeah, with that one, yeah.
In his fight, you know, because he can't push tickets out of the city, and people ain't gonna pay pay-per-views to see him fight. And he's a great fighter, but that personality, he has such a good personality. When you get to know him, I don't know him, but like you see his podcast.
Well, if you look at when he did against Earl Spence, a lot of the podcasts he was doing, the press, I thought, I'm like, damn, Crawford, you're doing good right here. We're finally seeing this. When he brought Eminem out, his clothing.
Yeah,
I go there, you go now. We're seeing a little bit of you.
And it's that belief, man, because it's like boxing could be so humbling when you get knocked out, and then people want to make fun of you because you said something. You know, we got to get past that, bro. Like we got to get past that as for boxing as a fan base. If you take that L, but you went all out and gave it your all, there's no problem, man. Look at Teofimo. You know, Teofimo. When he's fighting like people that would consider bums or not on that level, he was doing backflips, he was doing Fortnite shit, and the kids were like, I like that guy. Why? Because he did the Fortnite dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the hell is a Fortnite dance? I liked him because he knocked the guy out.
Yeah.
But he liked him because he did this. And then now Teofimo jumped to the mainstream. Probably could sell more tickets than Bud Crawford, you know, because people know him. Because he took that chance and he talked a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Bad ways and good ways, and did stuff that helped him, you know, hit that mainstream. He got socked in the stomach by the guy.
Oh, the big old dude. Yes. Most strongest man guy.
Yeah, he's out there traveling with him and his dad talking all kinds of hate. You can hate them. They talk a lot of shit, but you're gonna watch. And Mayweather set the blueprint too. He's like, dude, people pay to watch me lose.
Yeah.
And I was happy to fill that void. You're gonna pay to see me lose. You're gonna pay your money. I'm not gonna lose, and if I lose, I still got paid.
Yeah.
But he wasn't gonna lose. But you know, you took that bad guy role, and people were just want to be the hero or something. As soon as Ryan flipped it and wanted to be the bad guy, because he's trying to be the good guy, and it was fuck that guy. He no Mexican. He went bad guy, and now same thing, but.
Everybody, people like him. People want to see him.
You want to see him, dude, and you want to see flaws in your heroes. You want to see that. That's why, personally, I think, and I mean, I'm not talking for everybody. All I did is money and everything, but a lot of us didn't accept him, the culture when I was growing up because he wasn't like us, you know. He was very humble. He was very. He would have been like Ryan and stuff, and Viva Mexico, cabrones type of shit. Like he meant it, like Vargas did. Then we would have rolled behind them. And so, like, Vargas wasn't even that good, but to this day, he's considered a legend. He did all that shit. Don't get me wrong. He won championships. He went to the Olympics. I'm just saying, on a whole other level, Vargas could sell.
Yeah.
Because we felt like he was one of us.
Yeah, he would speak his English for the American crowd, and then he would say, Puro Mexico.
Puro Mexico, yeah, you know. So he did something for the sport. But that's the thing, man. We need more personality in the sport.
Yeah, because I see a lot of these kids coming there, a lot of the young guys coming up, and I'm like, show a little personality, man.
Yeah, so
come on. Make us build into. That's one thing I watch a lot of the like Errol Hawani with MMA Hour. He's great at interviewing dudes and bring out our personality of these MMA guys for us to be a little invested in them. And I don't feel like we don't have that really in boxing to get whoever you want, Ashton, Schofield, any of these dudes, Richard Henderson, come in and like interview them and see what's their personality, what pushes them or something.
Yeah, man, and it sucks because like people are haters, you know. So as soon as they see a personality, they hate. So like, why would I want to show you the real me if you're gonna hate? Now I'm vulnerable, you know.
Yeah.
If I show you who I really am, you know, look what happened to, was it H2O that got knocked out? You know, Jared Anderson got knocked out. Their personality starts shining, they get knocked out. Now look at the comments. That's pretty fucked up, bro. You know, this man just got dropped. He went out there and did his thing, and you're not doing shit, and you're gonna just berate him. You know, you're a person. You're gonna see that.
Yeah.
And so it's like I might as well not show the real me. So in case I lose, I don't get like hurt. You know, like the real me don't get hurt. The physical aspect of me, my boxing, that's cool. But the person itself that I am to the core, that won't get hurt. Yeah. You know, like poor Devin. Like that was him to the core with the sunglasses and shit, and he got fucked up. That was him, bro.
Yeah.
You look at Google, the first picture that pops up is him on the floor. You know, that was him. He got hurt. You know. Ain't nothing wrong with getting beat up, bro. Like,
everybody's gonna lose. Eventually happens.
You know, and that's what Ryan, I think, got past that, and that's why we get back to this guy named Jake Paul. And be like, oh, he's winning boxing. I was like, why is he winning it? Like, who said that? no one else could fight. I mean, I've seen guys with horrible bodies and records fight against a guy that's 10-0.
Yeah.
You know, and a guy's like 3-10. You know, and he looks like a fucking mechanic, and he's on a top rank card. You know,
Yeah.
he's on a Golden Boy card as a B side, and I'm like, you guys ignore that, but you get mad that Jake Paul decided to turn to his career, and he's just bringing personality. He's bringing something different to the sport, and anybody could fight, dude.
Yeah.
You know, if Jake Paul, if I get a platform and I say I want to box, and if I could get people to watch, why not? You know, there was a thing going on.
He
here.
puts Ashton on his card. Was it Amanda Serrano on
Serrano.
it? And there's that other, I don't know the other girl. I know she fought Chris Shields. He puts her on in the cards. It's good.
It's good, man.
As long as he's putting some up and coming guys, that's what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, he's supposed to get paid. Where's the law that says you can't get paid the way you want to get paid? You know, he wants to fight. The guy's fucking rich. He trains harder than half the fighters I've seen. You know,
Yeah.
The guy does it. He fights whatever he wants, but he could do whatever because he calls the shots. You know,
Yeah.
When you call the shots, then you're good. If he wasn't other shoe, he wasn't famous, and he wanted to be a boxer, he'd probably be B-side.
Yeah.
And he'd probably still be doing it. You know, so like, there's no like, look at the what was it called? The guy from Stockton and the MMA fighter. They fought.
Nate Diaz and Masvidal.
Yeah, great. They put a good card. They had a great card with the Garcia and Vargas.
Yeah.
It was a great card, bro. It was a fun card to watch, and I was like, "That's cool," you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You
good.
put in 2 actual boxes in there.
Yeah.
Fight. Wasn't it Danny? Sugar Shane Mosley's son was on it too.
Oh, with Jacobs, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So
See,
it's like,
you have your right boxers right there.
when would they fight each other? You know, when would they, you know? So it's cool, man. Like, they had their fight. I mean, it wasn't the best fight for as a boxing fan to watch, but as a fucking fighting fan, it was cool to see this fool slap each other around and throw that, and you know, at the end of the day, if they really wanted to, could take the gloves off and they could get down, you know. But they're going by the rules.
If he's putting boxers into that maybe top rank, the zone, or they're not really gonna look at or go, "Hey, we won't promote you too much."
Yeah.
But they're gonna promote. It's doing something good.
It is.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, man, and they sell more tickets than a lot of people do because they got personality.
Well, they got Jake Paul has they hate him, so it's like that Floyd thing.
Same thing, man. Like, I don't watch MMA, but with Diaz fights, I'm watching it just because he has personality.
Yeah. So again, we built to learn his personality, even though he has double-digit losses in MMA. But we built to want to see him fight for some.
Connected because we felt like he opened himself up to it. I feel like I know him. I don't know the guy, but the way he talks in the interviews, the way he says shit, it's just like I feel like I know the guy. So
Caleb Plant, for me, is me personally with Caleb Plant, 2 losses already. But you see him with his wife, his daughter. His daughter, unfortunately, the one that had passed away. He's around the Mexican culture a lot with the lowriders.
Yeah.
You build a little interest in him right there. And I'm like, okay, now when Caleb Plant fights, I'll gladly watch him fight.
Yeah.
Even though he's not one of the best ones, but hey.
And then when he did that thing with the digging, you know, that got you into because now that, you know, I mean, you just knocked the guy out. Do that. Who cares? You know, I know it sucks the guy's hurt, but the guy was talking shit. So you do your thing, you know, not like knock him out and see if he's okay. Like, I mean, I guess that's cool for sportsmen, but we don't want to see that. Like, I mean, I know the sportsmen in the back, keep it in the back, you know, but in the ring or in the press conference, you want to see that animosity.
Yeah, I want when after they win a fight, I don't know, go fucking say fuck this guy or something.
Yeah.
Say I want to fight this guy like that. I don't want to say, oh yeah, when who are you fighting next? I don't know. I just want to go home.
I'm going home. My wife kids and whoever they line up, I'll fight out. But I like him. He's good. Respect him. You know. I would like to see a guy say, hey, "Fuck that guy. He has what I have." Because he does have what you have.
Yeah.
He's got your wallet. He's got your belt.
That's what you're supposed to say. You build to the next fight.
Yeah.
I think it might not be the guy you fight next, but hey, you want media to say, "Oh, are we gonna get this person to fight this person next?"
Yeah.
It's what should happen, but I don't know why you guys don't do it.
And that's what the beautiful thing about Chavez, that every fight he'll say he wanted to fight who he wanted to fight, you know? You want to fight this guy, you want to fight that guy. Marvin Hagler, I never seen him fight, but I see his interviews.
Yeah.
After a fight, he's like, I want Sugar Ray. Put him in there. You know, like, so it was cool because you felt like, okay, he doesn't like him.
Yeah.
You know, and fighters, I see they get the respect after they, you know, they always give, so that's good. But, you know, you don't have to like him in the beginning. You don't have to be, I don't want, you know, you guys to be best friends and, you know, just don't fight in the press conference and ruin the fight. But
you want to do a little pushing or something, I'm not against it, but let's not fully, you know, throw hands at each other. Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis over here.
And see, and I go back to Nate. That's what I like about Nate. He's in the middle of a press conference. He's throwing water bottles. He's fighting, and it's like, dude, this guy really doesn't like him. Like, something's gonna go down tomorrow.
Yeah.
Something's gonna go down because they don't like each other. When they're shaking hands and stuff like that, it's like, it might not even be that much fun, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I seen Josue Vargas get knocked out by Cepeda. You seen that one where he was all talking smack, and I was like, "Ooh, that's gonna be a good fight tomorrow because they don't like each other." And then Cepeda knocked him out in like 1 round, you know. And that was just beautiful, you know.
Boxing, man, I love myself some boxing. if we could build into some characters, that would be always make it more fun.
Yeah.
Just want to say thank you, man, for
Thank you,
interviewing you, man. I appreciate it, man.
Coming by.